Hello everyone, it's Sarah from Sarah's Texture Crafts. Welcome to Dreaming and Fibre. This episode is all about Fibre East. We are on our way to Fibre East and we're in the van, so apologies for the noise of the air conditioning, but it's kind of hot outside and I need it. I can't have the windows open today while I talk to you because it'll just be too much noise. So I'll have to try and speak up a bit and adjust your headsets accordingly. We have just left Exeter. It is 13 minutes past 1. We have just stopped off and had some nice fish and chips, so we are on our way to Bedford. When we get there, we are looking for, I forget the name of the school, I'll put that in a link down the bottom, and it's going to be, Fibre East is going to be held at this school this year. We attended Fibre East as stallholders, not last year but the year before, when Fibre East was, well, it was the very first Fibre East show, and it was a fantastic show. Didn't do it last year just for personal circumstances, but this year we are back up there with a vengeance, and it will be my first big show since the health issues of June, which on, as a complete aside, but for those of you who might be interested, I went to the hospital yesterday to have my bloods checked, and the hormone levels have crashed down from almost 1500 to 1, which is absolutely amazing, and I am now off of what they call open ward, so the hospital are not required to check me weekly now. I still have to take it easy. I won't be back to dying until probably beginning of September or mid-September, as previously thought, just because the chemotherapy part of the injections that I spoke to you about last month means that my whole abdominal area is very susceptible to pulls, tugs, pressure, and things like that. So I'm still on a specialised diet. I'm not allowed to eat any foods that, to put it politely, make you fart. So no beans, no potatoes, no cabbage or anything like that, because any gas build-up could be potentially serious in the abdominal area. So, but the good news is that I'm off of open ward now, so no weekly visits to the hospital. It's onwards and upwards from here, guys. So I'm feeling really good, really positive about this show. I have my little helper Darren with me. I'll just pan round. And we are looking forward to a good show. July so far, we're at the end of July now. July so far has been absolutely wonderful in terms of weather. I'll just pan round here. You'll see we're on the motorway, but look at that glorious sunshine. Yes, been loving it. It has been somewhat of a heat wave, so everyone's had to make sure that they've drunk lots of water and take it easy. Don't be, silly in this weather. So it's meant things like the previous show, which was the Devon Guild's open day, it was their fleece day, was much quieter than usual. Still have the usual suspects come out, so I need to say a big thank you not only to the Devon Guild of Spinners, Weavers and Dyers, no, it's Weavers, Spinners and Dyers, just to say thank you ever so much for having me once again this year. I had a really good time. It was really nice to catch up with everybody, and really nice to have my hugs from people. I think last time I mentioned a hug out if you see me, so thank you everybody who gave me a hug. Or just came up to say hi and asked me how I was. And once again, for all those of you who've emailed me and got in touch over the internet somehow to ask me how I'm doing, your support as ever, not only to my business but to me personally, makes a huge difference. It's really nice when you get that sort of uplifting feel from people who you wouldn't otherwise meet or know if it wasn't for being in the Fibre world. So thank you very much. I'm looking forward to seeing lots of familiar faces and meeting some new faces at Fibre East. I really do enjoy getting out to the shows and just enjoying it all as a bit of a festival. It's a bit of a celebration of what I do, really, and it means an awful lot to have the opportunity to be a part of shows like this. So looking forward to it. We're hoping that we can make good time on the motorway today, but obviously it's afternoon now, and I'm not sure whether we're going to meet a lot of holiday traffic, so keep your fingers crossed for me. But I will keep you updated, and once we get to the show I will talk you through setup, show you around, take a couple of pictures, that kind of thing. And then tomorrow, hopefully before we start, I'll give you a proper walk around, so if you're not coming to the venue you'll get a bit of a flavour of what Fibre East looks like. As with all of these shows, I do recommend coming out and seeing them if you can. I know that if you're finding it difficult to find people to travel with, places like Ravelry, that's ravelry.com if you don't already know of Ravelry, are great places on the forums to find and get in touch with other Fibreisters and knitters and so on, who might be willing to join up with you and make the journey up to different events. So it's a nice way to meet people in your local area or across the country, and hook up and do things together. So that's a really nice aspect to Ravelry, aside from obviously the pattern finding and the yarn finding and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that's about it for today. Well, for the moment I should say. I hope to podcast when I get to our lodgings after we've set up, where I'll probably do a little bit more of a sort of formal podcast for you and go through my usual topics of conversation, catch up on website news, that kind of thing. But until then, I'm just going to say see you later and keep those fingers crossed that we get there in good time. Okay, cheers guys. Hello, this is the view from our lodge where we're staying. This is where the horses normally stay during the day, but it's what time do you reckon it is? 8:30. About 8:30. And if I get up and move around, these are the sort of chalets that we're in. Wave! We're on the end here, next to the tractor. Somewhere over there lives a St Bernard. Horses are up the back there somewhere, big stable. Quite a nice bit of land really. Hey Darren. Yeah. Nice bit of land.
Yeah, sorry. Nice view.
I'll just sit myself down and turn you around. The view's probably better than me, I have to apologise. There I am. I was going to sit down and do a bit more of a normal podcast, but to be honest, too knackered. It's 8:30 and we've literally just got in as such. It's too hot. It's been one hell of a journey up here, so I will talk to you a bit more tomorrow evening. What would you say about the journey, Darren? Now, bear in mind, he's just got a mouthful of Pringles, so let's let him finish. I'll go first. My thoughts were utter pants. Your thoughts, Darren?
Can't say. It's far too rude.
Yeah. It was sort of stop start with traffic jams, wasn't it?
It took us 6 hours instead of 3.5.
6 hours instead of 3.5. And then they were just really silly people, weren't they?
Well,
Really,
I think the
really
heat got
silly.
to everybody really. It's very, very hot in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know, there's an argument for the heat getting to people, but there are some people that just A, can't drive, and B, are completely ignorant of anyone else around them, and unfortunately that was one of those days. So it was quite stressful. It got to the point where I was clenching my jaw so much, I said to Darren, I'm getting a real jaw ache here, I was getting so stressed. Anyway, we got here okay, found the place alright, and started setting up. I suppose we got there, what, about 6:30? Must have been 6:30.
About
We didn't
6:30,
have that long, did we?
No.
So we've not quite finished setting up, which is a bit of a shame, because I would like to have sort of showed you around and showed you a bit of what the inside of the venue and that looked like. We're split over different rooms, and then there are outside marquees as well. But we just didn't have enough time to get everything we needed to get done. So we're going to have to go in a little bit earlier tomorrow so that we can finish setting up and just sort of titivate the stand a bit, really. And then, dependent on what it's like, I will sort of circle around and show you what the rest of the venue's like, the other stall holders, that kind of thing, and some of the animals as well, because I think there are going to be quite a few animals there, from what I understand anyway. So I think that's it. I did bring my knitting project, and I'm so not in the mood to knit tonight now. I'm far too hot, so I think I'm just going to take it easy, rest up for tomorrow, go grab a shower, grab something to eat, because we haven't really had any dinner. Yeah, and just chill out really. So I shall see you tomorrow, and we'll speak more about Fibre then. Okay. Good morning. It is Saturday. Can't remember even what date it is. I don't even know what my name is. 27th of July. We are just getting ready to leave. I'm going to take you outside and show you the horses, although from a distance. In the meantime, I thought it would be quite funny to show you Darren. I just put some eye drops in for him because his eyes are really itchy this morning. Morning, Darren.
She's made me cry already, and we haven't even started yet.
I haven't really. Okay, I'm just going to show you the horses and then we'll get round to the stall and everything once I get to the venue. So I'm just going to pop outside the door. Okay. Over there, you can see the St Bernard that looks after the horses. There he is. He's lovely. Yeah. I'll just put my shoes on and then see if we can...
Do you reckon that's his food bowl over there, that huge bucket?
That's probably his water bowl though. I'll put on my shoes and then we'll trot over and see if we can say hello to the horses. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so here we are with the horses. Well, with the horse.
There's nothing over there.
That's it, I'm going to complain. I was told horses. In the distance there's a white one.
There's a dog the size of a horse.
Yeah, that is true. He has got his own barn. But what a lovely, peaceful spot. So I'm really pleased with our choice. Oh, good morning. Really pleased with our choice for the night. And I'll pan round so that you can see where we're staying.
We've been really lucky with the last couple of places we stayed, haven't we?
Yeah. And we're in that one on the end. So it's quite nice. Okay, so I will see you in the van. Okay, so here we are in the van, getting ready to go off to the show. I'm not sure what to expect today really. I was feeling a bit unconfident I think yesterday. Because it took us a while longer to get there than we anticipated, so we were under a sort of a bit of pressure to get everything done and ready. And we've still got to go and finish prepping this morning. But secondly, because I couldn't do any production in June, as you know, and I've been limited in July as to what I could do, and certainly the weather didn't help, because there were some days where even with the fan on you just couldn't handle fibre because it was just sticking to your hands, so you couldn't really card bats or do row-lags or anything like that. So I have been limited to what production I could do. So to be honest, I've been able to get together as much as I've been able to get together, but I guess with all stall holders you have that kind of competitiveness. Not in a way like, oh, you know, I think that stall is, you know, better than me or anything like that, but in a way that you want to make sure that you do look really good, that your stall looks full and plush and all of those things. And I don't know really that ours sort of, I don't know, careful as you go over this hill, Don. I don't know, sort of tops the bill this time, I think. In a small way, I feel like I've sort of let myself down, but you know, I mean, what can you do? It's completely, you know, so I was down to sort of circumstance, really. But anyway, it will be fine. I'll get there. I'll titivate this morning. I'll have a bit of a walk around, which will make me feel one of two ways. Maybe I shouldn't walk around him, but you know, it will be what it will be this time. I think for me, it's just another opportunity to get back there out on the road after having been ill, and a nice experience to sort of meet and chat with some of the other stall holders I haven't seen for a while. And just generally enjoy the festival as such. So I'm going to take a moment, take a chill pill, get over myself, and get on with the day and be happy and smiley and all those things that, you know, make a show worth doing, really. So I will take, if I can, a little bit of video around the stall. We've got to be set up by 9:30 and it's, well, just coming up to 8:30 now. We're only literally a couple of minutes away from the venue, so we shouldn't really need the whole hour to get everything ready. So hopefully there'll be a little bit of time before we open for me to sort of do a walkthrough with the video if I can. I know some people don't like to be videoed, so I won't be doing any sort of close-up of stalls or anything, but it would just be nice to give you a sort of ambience if I can. So let's see what I can do. Okay, so I will chat to you later. Cheers. Okay, so this is me, just set up. We'll start this side. I've got some fleece on bargain price here. They're new fleeces, I just haven't got room for it all. And obviously being off, I haven't had the time to process it, so if you're in the vicinity, you'll get a bargain. I will do the same at Glastonbury Wool Festival for anyone who wants to come along and get some fleece. I've got my hand-dyed fleece there. Got the last of my hand-dyed moata. Up here I've got some of my bats, texture boxes, a few more bats, the last of my hand-dyed, a few more bats, hand spun. So these are like some of my new ones, mixed with a few older thick and thin ones. This one I love, this Indian Summer, which is a hand-dyed BFL. It's come up really nice. And we've got some larger skeins for those who might want to do shawls and so on. Got my hand-dyed yarn, which I've just sold some, so I'm quite pleased with that. And of course the socks are somewhere. Oh, they're there. There they are. Gives you an idea of how the variegated will knit up. My dress. Some more fleece. Then we've got row-lags. So row-lag sets. These are all new products, so these will be on the website soon. Very positive response to these so far. And then my lovely roving bonbons. These are rovings made from drum-carded butts, and I've done them a bit like a sweetie parlour there, so grabbable. We've got some sale yarns here, pound off the mark price. I need to get that up in a minute. Some more bats. Got some needle felting bits and equipment, some spindle kits there. Going to move this, which is my demo pack, to reveal all the other little sundries and things. My merinos, blends, which Darren has put into a lovely rainbow effect, and then some more fleeces. And that's it. I'm just going to go for a quick wander, and I'll see if I can take some video while I do that, but just to give you an indication, this is what the haul looks like so far before opening. So we're all just here setting up still. Got some really nice stuff, and everyone's just getting ready, feeling chatty. There we go. So I will see you in a minute. I will pan back so you can see the whole stall in its glory. There we go. Like I say, normally I have probably 3 times as much as this in that space, but there we go. Fingers crossed. I mean, I have sold my first thing, so all going well. Feeling positive. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, here's my little walk around. Cute. This will be buzzing later. Okay, so that was one of the marquees. You can walk around. I've come sort of the back end, so I'm not doing it as necessarily the customers will see us. But I'm just going to have a look. Morning. So here we go, this is one of the tents.
You've got most of your population in one place, a disease hits them. So they prefer that's a breeding population in Ireland, and it's always there as a backup.
Oh yeah.
What's left from Sara, we can
Some very interesting stuff today. It's one of the other marquees, and I see some sheep fleece. I'm going to be purchasing.
Try not to buy everything.
I hope that my English is a bit better than yours.
Is it? One of those? Yeah. That would be fantastic. Can I borrow that?
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything I can help you with, just shout.
Okay, okay.
that's it for the outside. Just going to stop and have a look at the fleeces. Oops, that's a mistake, Sarah.
A bit like judo, really. Now, for all of you with those body hair issues, there we go, just like that. Now you see how much easier the comb is running through the fleece. This sheep has probably only got a third of the actual wool fibres per square inch than that lamb had. A lot less. One nil, 1-0. There you go. Come this way. And just like that, as if by magic.
It is the end of Saturday. I have a few purchases to show you, and that's Darren Totting. And I've got a little bit of work that I showed you and my current work in progress so that we get some kind of a normal podcast going here. I'll show you finished object. I spun these probably a year ago. It was my coil spun from Corridale in coloured turquoise, and then some of the sari silk that I have on the website. So just very odd, nothing sort of too sort of formulated or anything like that. So very odd repetitions is what I should say. Quite nice little lumps and bumps, and as I've worn it over the last year, it's sort of felted up, so it's got a whole new layer of texture, and I've got a little bracelet to go with. Can't remember how much I spun. It might have been a 30-gram bat, and these are core spun onto, I think, a ply of I think it might have been an elasticated yarn. No, it's not elasticated. It's definitely a 2-ply thread of some sort, but it was quite easy to make, quite nice to wear. Just I've got loads of compliments on it, and loads of people saying, oh, and that's what I can do with coil spun. So if you are planning to do any art yarn, then that might be a way to use them. What have I done today? Well, I didn't get much spinning done. That's the sum total of my spinning. I was spinning from one of my little sample colours. These are, this is from one of the Fibre clubs. It didn't actually go into production in the end, but I think it will go into production in the future, so you might be able to find this as one of the new colourways on sarastexturecrafts.com at some point. This is on Jacobs. I just wanted to show people that Jacobs would spin really nice and fine, and it would give you a nice texture, and it's great for hats, shawls. I probably wouldn't wear it quite close to the skin because it is quite crunchy, but it's still a really nice, easy fibre to use. It's also great for beginners as well because it drafts really nicely. I didn't get round to using my Rolags. I want to talk to you a bit more about these because I haven't as yet showed you these. This is a new product for me at Sara's Texture Crafts. They take a while to make. They are slightly more puni style Rolags rather than a traditional woolen Rolag that you make from a hand carder. And this particular batch has merino, some silk noil and some silk throsters in it, and they're just in really sort of watery colours. I think I've got a bit of mulberry silk in there as well, and they should just draft really nice and easily from the end into, well, as you can see, that just really wants to go quite nice and lacy. So those will be a joy to spin. It is too hot to spin. I probably will choose a much lighter weight spindle to spin those on, so I get that really nice consistent fine yarn. I'm not sure what I want them to be. I might apply them against a natural, might even apply them against the white. I'm going to wait and see what the single looks like. But that was going to be a stand demo, but it might now just be a personal project. We shall see. If it cools down tomorrow, then I'll start spinning those, certainly. The other thing I wanted to show you is my work in progress, just in case, before I get onto my purchases. For those of you who are spinning along with me, spun along with me throughout the Tour de Fleece, we have now got the knitting part of our Sal Cow for the next month. And so I started knitting and literally couldn't stop. I had, all in all, I think it was about 48 grams. I spun a single of hand dyed in just one of my little sampler colourways, and then I applied that against a grey Shetland and got mostly a 4-ply weight, although it does vary across the length. I mean, I don't mind a little bit of texture, I think that all adds to it. But what I've been able to achieve by applying it against the natural is a much more subtle effect. So although these colours originally in the hand-dyed single were extremely bright, they've become much more subtle with that addition of that natural grey ply to it. And made it much more wearable for Darren, who this is going to be a hat for, who prefers, you know, a much more subtle approach to colour. I think if I'm lucky, this 48 grams will make me a slightly slouchy hat as well, so we'll see how that goes, and I'll show you that as we get along. And hopefully next month or the month after I'll do a roundup as well of that Sal Cow knit along, just so that you can kind of see what happens in our group on Ravelry, and might give you a bit more of an idea of what to expect if you join in, because of course I'm always open to new members. Purchases. What did I get? Well, there were a few things that I liked. I was trying to be good, so excuse the crinkle. I bought this first skein of yarn from Nomolo, which is handmade knitting and sewing accessories, nomolo.com. It doesn't say where they're based, but they do quite a lot of linen yarn, which is quite interesting. This is 100% wool. It's an ungraded wool, so it doesn't, you know, it has quite that sort of slightly crunchy, slightly scratchy feel to it, but it would be great as a hat, or possibly even a shawlette, something that's not quite next to the skin, and that's got about 350 metres, and I only paid £6 for it, so I thought that was really good. And I love that colour, that sort of purple colour next to that pop of lime, and then there's a darker purple in there as well, which is quite nice. So I'm not entirely sure what I want that to be yet, but I'm looking forward to knitting that up. And then the last thing, Darren has purchased for my birthday a little basket, which I love. I adore the colour, I adore the shape. It's going to be really, it's got a really great leather handle to it as well. The details are www.basketbasket.co.uk, and I will pop a link to those guys in the show notes, along with all of my other purchases by the end of the show as well, just so you can go and see them yourselves. I just love the colours, I love the shape. I think it will be a really nice basket just to take to pop to the shop, but also to take to spinning, because it hasn't got any sort of majorly sharp edges. I could get away with putting wool and stuff in there, you know, and a drop spindle, and get away with that quite nicely without having to worry about a braid being ruined when I get to the other end. And that's it, I think, for purchases today. It might not be the last purchases that I make. That's Darren tutting again in the background. Thanks Darren. So how do we think the show went, Darren? Darren's behind the camera.
Hi. I think it went really well, actually. It was steady. It was hot. I mean, considering how hot it was,
Really hot.
I think the people who actually came did pretty well to stay as long as
They
it did.
stayed all day, didn't they?
A lot of people did,
Majority.
yeah. I think they probably had to travel quite a long way, most people, to get there. But we had some people who came specifically to see us, which is always really nice, and just to see the excitement on their faces and I don't know, you just sort of see people and they smile as they approach the stall, and it's just really nice.
My favourite comment of the day is we always love to come and see your stall because it's always the best in show. And you know, these are people who come to see me at Wonderwall Wales and stuff like that, and to have that, you know,
Well, against some of the
successfully-
competition as well.
Yeah,
I mean, well, I say competition,
because you
but
get
other stall holders, you know.
there's an amazing amount of competition there. You know, everyone's really creative, but they're doing their own thing. So to have someone say that is,
Brings a tear to my eye.
Bit of a joke there. So thanks for that. I want to say a big thank you to those of you who did manage to get here today. I know there was problems with the traffic. Also, the heat put a lot of people off as well. So.
And the lady and her daughter, the lady got bitten by something.
Yeah.
And about 2 days ago, had a foot so big it was, you know.
Yeah, she couldn't get it into a shoe.
She couldn't get into a shoe.
But she said, "Oh, I can't miss Fibre East," and came along anyway.
Sarah's going to be there.
Yeah, she's on antibiotics. Had Alex, who's on antibiotics as well. She's in the Ravelry group. So a few people came out despite not feeling the best, and despite, you know, the heat and all the rest of it. So thank you so much for that. It does mean so much to me. You know, that you make the effort and the time to come and say hi when you come to these events. So yeah, all in all, a very positive day. I was worried, as you saw this morning, that I might not have the right mix of product, or, you know, I was so down in terms of stock levels on the hand-dyed because of not being able to do it. But that just didn't seem to matter. People were quite happy to come out, and they still spent their money. They bought yarn, or they bought hand-dyed curls that I had. I had some of that left over. What else did they buy? Blends. We sold spindle kits, some of the new Rolags. I've also got roving bonbon balls, which I'll show you those more in more detail at some stage as well. And it was just such a positive and happy experience, and it was exactly what I needed. So thank you. Looking forward to tomorrow. Right about now, the birds are really noisy outside. Bless them.
They're flirting with each other.
I'm just going to show you the sparrows. He is being incredibly flirty. Oh, he's gone, is he?
Bush. Yeah.
Come back. Oh, you might see him. He might come up. They're just over here, and he's being incredibly
Love me,
flirty. Yeah, that's a really deep display, isn't it?
Bless him.
And I don't think she's interested at all. But I'll show you the contrast. I mean, look at that cloud. So I think the storms that we were due to have at lunchtime are coming, but it will be overnight, which is, I'll just pass that back to you. It's not a bad thing if it clears the air. you know, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Haven't got a huge amount of stock left, but that's no bad thing. That's a sign of a good day. I think I'm off for a shower now, so I will sign off here and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, cheers. Good morning, it is Sunday, it's the last day of Fibre today. The weather is much cooler today, it's a bit overcast, possible chances of rain by the looks of it, although the forecast suggests otherwise, so I don't know whether this will clear up a bit later, but hopefully not quite as hot as yesterday got. That would be quite nice to have a bit of a cooler day on the last day. Looking forward to getting in there. Need to have a bit of a sort around because I sold out of some of the stock, and obviously need to sort of titivate the stand to make it look like it's still full, because I literally haven't got any more stock now, so but that's a good sign. Had lots of interest yesterday from people who are due back today for fleeces and things, and bumps of fibre and that, so hopefully if they come back, plus, you know, new customers as well, hopefully we should do quite well again today. So fingers crossed on that. If I get a chance, I will try and do a bit of a walk around actually within the building of the school, because I think yesterday I just did the marquees and that, so that will give you a bit more of an idea of other people there and what the show looks like and so on. I'll try and do it at a quieter moment, but imagine it sort of chock-a-block, because there were times yesterday when you couldn't really move. It was quite busy. So I will see you in a bit. Wish me luck. Cheers. It is the end of the last day of Fibre East. I hope you have enjoyed your journey with me, and just a quick sum up of today. It was quite quiet. I'm not entirely sure why that was, but there was just generally less footfall today. I think most people maybe popped out yesterday, thought maybe it was going to be hot for the full weekend. Anyway, we did what we needed to do after having all my worries about not having enough of the sort of stock that I would like to have brought. Actually, we did okay with the stock that we had, so I didn't need to panic quite as much, which is half of my problem. It was also pretty interesting because I made lots of new contacts. I was asked to give a skein of yarn to a magazine for possible future editorial, so I'm hoping that they like that. That will go down well, and we shall see. If anything comes of that, of course I will let you know. What else happened? A few different things. Yeah, I had another magazine who asked to take pictures of my stand for the blog, so again, if I get the link to that, I will be looking out for it as well myself. Then I will let you know about that. I'll put that in the show notes, and probably take a screenshot so I can show you next time, because that'll probably be too late for this podcast to go out. Also made a few other contacts, so that was quite interesting really. Come up with a few new ideas for new products from things that people were looking for that couldn't seem to find, so if I can get on with those as soon as possible, that will be helpful. Also was approached by a few people regarding wholesale. I spoke to them about wholesale and said, you know, look, my margins are really what they are. There's not much I can work on in terms of that. So they understood the situation I was in, so it's a case of getting a sample pack together and going from there really. So fingers crossed with that one. Generally just a good day, nice chatty people. It was nice to see all of the familiar faces from other stall holders and customers, and of course nice to meet new people as well. And really looking forward to putting my application in again for next year, because I think, you know, now that things are back on the right track, Shows like this are really important to do, and I really enjoyed it. So that's all good news. I don't think there's pretty much a lot of other stuff to tell you. I did make a few purchases, but I couldn't tell you for the life of me whereabouts they are in the van. So if I don't get a chance to record a little add-on section at the end of this when I get back to my little studio, then I will show you in future episodes as I work on them. I've also decided I'm going to start working a lot more on my own, from my own product as well, just so I can give you a better idea of how they might turn out if you spin them, weave them, felt them, so on, knit with them, and to give you ideas as well, because obviously everybody's take on using product is slightly different. I might come up with something that you might not have thought of before, or you might write in and say, well, I used it for this, and this is a picture of my product, of my finished product. And I'll quite happily include that in the podcast, so if you would like to do that, then get in contact with me. The contact details are on my website, sarastexturecrafts.com. You can also find me on Ravelry as well, where you can share pictures, and on my Facebook page. So I think I'll do my quick sign off. I will just thank my partner Darren for helping me out. Means a lot to have his support at shows like this, because otherwise I just wouldn't be able to get here and do them physically on my own. So until next time, I hope that you enjoy your crafting and continue dreaming in fibre. Okay, see you soon, guys.